This is Manders of Fake Winds Bonsai. Let's dig into this adventure. Today is February 22nd, 2025, and this work was done July 2nd, 2024. So let's see how much I remember. This initial work on the willow was done very tentatively. I didn't know how it responds. I didn't know what I could get away with. I didn't know if I could hack it like you could some ficuses and have it live. I do remember trying to select this tree, that's early summer, and just seeing all these willows crammed together, shading each other out, and all of them being so overgrown that it was just trying to choose what type of chaos I wanted to work with. As I try to show in with these points of zooming in and the text, I'm trying to explain each cut as I make it. It's a little bit challenging when there's so many options, so many structurally incorrect branch placements. It's really hard to choose just about anything with this tree. One thing that's definitely not helping is my refusal to switch for my trusty Fisker snips. I should have really traded off to my more proper bonsai tools. As you can see, even with this text, I'm really not sure about what decisions to make with this tree, and I found that sometimes that those decisions were actually pretty difficult to make. In the end, with this first round of work, I believe I had decided just to try and open things up, shorten it a little bit, and then see how the tree responded to it. A huge part of the chaos with this tree was the massive amounts of crotch growth. There would be points where you'd have the trunk line, a branch, and 2, 3, 4 other branches all coming from that same spot. It was so congested. Another difficulty with filming on this day was the complex I live in. The neighborhood kids seem to ignore the local park's existence and just decide to play right in front of everyone's balconies. It could be very frustrating to deal with. This cut here is a prime example of when I should have switched tools. These Fiskars definitely are not capable of making that cut, and I did damage that other trunk there just a little bit. Should heal over just fine. Hopefully in the future I'll be able to go back and clean up that little stump you can see there, but we'll see what happens this year. I know this happens to everyone that tries to film their work on their trees, but I found that this was really bad for my hands blocking the views of the cuts I'm making. At this point, I remember thinking, okay, it's open enough. Let's do something about the height. I did take this height reduction pretty cautiously. I left stumps for dieback. I left branches to better support the growth of the branch and increase its chances of survival. I also tried to choose the ones that seemed the most chaotic up to a certain point to eliminate, well, the chaos. And then it was time to wait and see how it responded. Here I am now trying to take a peek at finding some roots, trying to find out where the nabari is or the start of the root base, trying to see if there's any problems I can tackle. As the text just pointed out there, I am doing my best to work in a radial pattern, so that's outwards like clock spokes from the trunk as the base. And then right there I just spotted a problem root. We'll tackle that in a few seconds here. When cutting this root away, you want to make sure that the cuts are as close to the trunk and into the soil line as you can possibly go, without disturbing any more roots underneath. And then I have resumed trying to work away at finding more of that root base. In case you didn't know, this whole do-it-yourself bonsai challenge was started by Darren from Gro Bonsai. I will add links to his YouTube channel and Facebook page in the description. I remember the flare to the roots not being all that bad. I'm actually kind of excited for the spring when I dig this tree out of the ground and go to work at separating them. That one root area I just cut off, I kind of second guessed that, but we'll see what has popped up in its place here soon. As the season goes on, I'm going to continue to use that rock there to wedge the trees apart in hopes of maintaining some space between those trunks and improving the airflow. But we'll see what happens in the spring. Maybe I just damaged a bunch of bark. This is now 18 days later, and you can see that it is bouncing back very, very nicely. And the chaos is returning. So let's see how brave I got. Once I was done, I do remember having an oh shit moment, wondering if I was about to push this tree too far. I was very happy to once again be proven wrong. The garden prep was done a week after my grandma's 89th birthday. It took me 2 days, and I apologize for the amount of spinning. It's a pretty small garden. I have been trying to convince my mom to add more organic matter so that she could improve the soil health, so every single time I try and pile in the leaves to help with that. So the leaves get mixed in and layered in as I put the trees to bed. I still find it hard to believe that this is my second or third year with the outdoor trees. I hope that I did a good job in showing how this year's bonsai challenge went. See you in the spring. Please hit that like button, share, and comment on this adventure.